due to adult language, themes, and images. I'm gonna warn you, don't have your children around. Please don't let your children hear the language. Please, viewers' discretion is advised. I gave you a warning. Now let's get into the show.
Is the family and my family entertainment and his team no sleep. Flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul. Illuminati wanna take it. This is the family and my family entertainment and his team no sleep. Flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul. Illuminati wanna take it.
CEO, bullshit, paying for the pussy, I endorse it, riding through the city, that's my office, so much money that you gon' need a forklift, forget all, rapping riddles, click, louder your
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, because somewhere around the world it is truly what time it is, and I'm your host, the dopest political analyst on this planet, and the most feared former congressional senatorial candidate of these United States, Antone Tucker, Tony Montega, a.k.a. The Truth, a.k.a. that... I'm sorry, Tony X, a.k.a. The Truth, a.k.a. The Threat, a.k.a. The Legend, a.k.a. Neil, and I'm here with you, and we're free. From the Matrix. I want to say thank you very much for being in the building. Everybody who is here, I want to say I appreciate you very, very much. So, the phenomenon known as Black Lives Matter was a scam all along. And I wanted to do this show today because I can see that in the black content creative sphere, this is a topic that people are talking about, but they're not really giving it the kind of attention that it deserves. It doesn't matter who is trying to critique the so-called black community, and I'm going to get into why I call it the so-called community, but there's a reason why no matter who tries to critique the so-called black community, there's always voices that goes and just starts to echo racism and everything else in order to keep these people as ignorant and as stupid as humanly possible. Everything that I say in today's show is my opinion. It's not the opinion of any show's producers, management, and or other representatives and content creators. My personal opinion. The saddest thing about this is that this grift, from the devils all the way to the demons and wretched little creatures that ran this scam, the only thing it did was further divide racial groups, and it's quite possibly one of the last nails needed to destroy any kind of black power in this nation. There's nothing wrong for a group or an ethnic group to want to be powerful, to compete. That's cool. This is America. They allow you to do it. As an American, I feel all of us should want to compete and win together. But I never shy away from, or I never get offended when I hear someone say they believe that white race is powerful, Chinese race is powerful. So I don't feel that way when people say the black race is powerful, because this is a powerful race. Clearly dominant genes, when you breed, you make more black people. That is in itself spectacular. But you allow yourselves to fall short. You choose ignorance over perseverance, hard work, and acknowledgement. Acknowledgement of what? Acknowledgement of the truth. Today's show might just go past a half an hour, and I might have to do that. I'm going to look at this content here, and I'm going to react to it. But I'm also going to have a real discussion with you. Because if you're not waking up by now, it's over. The great deal of majority of blacks who are in this nation are not truly black Americans. They come from somewhere else. And as they've promoted the destruction of the so-called Negro of America, creating the divide between the male and the female, making the female more masculine, and then making the male more feminine. And none of these things are by mistake. They're by design. What I find so perplexing is these so-called freedom fighters who seem to always run to the devil being the white liberal, the machine apparatus. And I don't care what ethnicity it is that is in that apparatus. They're all wicked people. And since their involvement in the black community, the only thing they've ever done is destroy it. They got you, black people, to insist on giving your resources to people who don't even belong here. How did they accomplish that? By successfully brainwashing your women to hate men, black men, to hate the idea of being a mother. Why am I saying that? Well, because they're more likely to take the lives of their babies in their wombs than any other race in this country. There has never been a message from the Democrat Party telling you, have your baby will make you rich. They say if you have a baby, it's going to keep you poor. As if somehow they've given you an out from poverty. Because you have an abortion and you stay in the same circumstances you started out with when you opened your legs in the first place. You may not like what I have to say. Because you may think I'm looking down on you. Coming from a place where maybe he made it. No, that's not true. I got children that's going to be raised around your children. I still have to breathe the same air that you do. So I'm not looking down on anybody. I'm looking you dead in your eyes and I'm telling you, you've played yourself. The cries of racism on your $1,500 cell phones and your $2,000, $3,000 handbags is fucking ridiculous. The cries of racism while you parade European hair or Indian hair in your head, gluing up your scalp, removing your natural, beautiful image that God created you as, and then disrespecting the same men who try to critique you and tell you, cover your ass. You played yourself. You went and then advocated for people who you know don't even like you. And you did it the so-called spite a white man. All along, it's white people pulling all your strings. What in the world would make you think these three ignorant ghetto birds who use the death and horrible, tragic murder of her cousin as a way to enrich herself? With all of the money they raised, that man should have a gold, solid gold 24-karat statue where his body lays at rest. Consequently, she sleeps in possibly a $6 million home. There are no black schools created by these wenches. There are no scholarships paid for young black aspiring talent. And you know why? Because them wretched creatures never had control in the first place. If you think the white liberal gave those three wretched creatures control over that, you're stupid. It's the reason why the whole entire time Act Blue ran it and funneled the money through this lie of an organization and movement, and funneled the money to give it to Democrats because they couldn't get a hand raised in a kindergarten class if they offered somebody cake. And the moment that they had tax issues, the government swooped in and made it go away. Because they were complicit in this as well. Because when is it not your government poisoning you, using you, dividing you? And then you know all of this. I'm talking to you black people. And then you let these women run around here screaming racism to you, sleeping in $1 million homes that dead black men paid for. When the tragic murder of her cousin, one of the ringleading horrible people, when the horrible murder of him occurred, when they unalived that young man, when that happened, they didn't raise enough money to quit yet, but they realized they were on a roll. Because there will always be some form of a black man losing his life in this country, whether it's because he's innocent or not. And all they had to do was jump on it. So who got behind it? The government did. The same government that is funding George Soros, the same government that is allowing these billionaires to tear us apart from the inside, no matter who's in office, including Donald Trump. Or these people would not be free still. They can find a guy on the corner selling a nickel bag of rock, but they can't lock up George Soros and Alex Soros. Bill Gates is still allowed to sit in the White House. Some people say, but that's your man, Donald Trump. I'm intelligent enough to know he has advisors and people around him who are not giving him good advice. There is people at play that have been playing since the man and before the man even thought about getting here. And you can't be black and then tell me that you didn't see this happening. Target, Walmart, all of these people gave them hundreds of millions of dollars. And all they did was paint their name on asphalt so people with shoes on can step on it. You've been stepped on. And who do they always get to step on you? Black women. I wish I could use the word I want to use, but we're on YouTube. They go and get these creatures, these dogs. They go and get these dogs, the fanny packs, the Letitias, all the dogs you could think of, and they make sure that they're compromised morally and financially, and they use these dogs to go chew and go fetch, to bark. Just like they use these 3 dogs. We're going to get into this content. Enough with the opening monologue of anger. My mother would say, Tony, I'll be watching you and I just feel you're so angry. Call you angry man. And I'm like, Mom, I'm not angry. I'm just, I'm in the moment. I'm not angry. I'm just, And she's like, well, don't be seeming like that to me. And they were mad at Young Yachty when Young Yachty said BLO was a scam. Well, watch. And now the question is, why all of the so-called Black Power Negroes, especially the people who like to run in my DM and in the comments, the ones who talk like they're gonna do something that they're never gonna do, man. It's like the weakest of people, B. It's like, it's crazy to me, man. And it's like, you really prepared to get that kind of punishment administered to you because you're just stupid. They were mad at young little Yachty when he told the truth. Listen.
They had bought mansions, and you probably don't know anything about it because you don't care about black people.
See, you probably don't know anything about it because you don't care about it. He's talking to a black chick. He's talking to a black woman. I just had somebody not too long ago who I care for and love very deeply disrespect me on a live and said, F me and F Trump. I don't know what she was mad about, but clearly she was mad about something that had nothing to do with me. It's because black women don't love black men. And I'm not saying all black women, but I'm saying this is way more black women who don't love us than that love us. There's way more. That's the reason why men attack me online. They're girls. Homosexual men. The attitude of these guys is ridiculous, and it comes from this community. This sassiness. You hear me and you're so upset, you just have to say something. So sassy of you. Sassiness. Run around here, pants off your ass. Everybody want to be so tough, but then you so sassy. Because the moment someone says something you don't like, you just so emotionally sassy, you got to cry and do something about it. And then a brother like Stephen A, who I don't even respect this joke of a guy, but still, when he did try to critique Jasmine Crockett and said, close your mouth and work on behalf of your people, everybody said, you can't talk to black women like that. That's why they use black women. See? That's why they use them. Because they got y'all thinking y'all can't talk to them. And that's why men don't want to marry them. I'm telling you, call me a liar, then check the rate of them getting married. Because you can't critique them. They removed the man from the household, put a woman in charge that was reliant on a government that would always lie to her, mistreat her, unalive her babies, tell her to unalive her babies, and she gonna go for it. And in the moment that anybody critiques her or tells her, yo, they're misusing you. They're unaliving your babies. The moment someone tells her that, oh, you can't talk to her and tell her nothing. But who do they use to destroy the black community? How many black men you see currently under indictment by this administration that are black men that were involved in any kind of election shenanigans against Donald Trump? Outside of the guy who got paid because of Fannie Pack. And he's not indicted. You said what? Because Fannie Pack was in charge. They go through the women. From the days of breaking the buck, taking the strongest male, putting him on horses and ripping his limbs apart, and the woman seeing it and saying that he had no power, she never, ever want to be put in that situation again. So she sold off her sons. And so you don't say nothing about the same government that's misusing her, unaliving her babies. That same government made it where you can't even critique her. I put post up and said, black people are not niggas. You can be any color and be a nigga. To me, a nigga is somebody who does not want to work hard. To me, a nigga is somebody who would rather choose violence over discussion. Somebody who is not a builder, but a destroyer, a breaker. Somebody who's looking for an excuse instead of an opportunity. And that's anybody with a lazy, defeated mindset. It went viral, going viral. Instagram took it down. I posted a picture of a woman that had her and her child twerking and said, this is not cool and or responsible. I said, this is not how black women should be depicted. And they gave me a strike on Instagram because you can't critique the misbehavior of a so-called black woman in America. Why do I keep saying so-called? Because black folks don't do that. We're talking about one of the most beautiful, prideful races ever. I've never known my folks to be like that. I've always known my folks to work hard. I had a crackhead uncle that could take a whole car apart and put it back together. He rebuilt my grandmother's house. And you know what he never did? He never stole from me. He never stole from me. He had his problems, but he had his gifts. He'd rather work hard for his problem than make his problem your problem. And he was from the old school. Everybody that I know that's black got a crackhead uncle or aunt or something like that. But even your crackhead aunt would come around, she would be smell like fresh leather. The destruction of the black family persists because the black woman is unapproachable. It's the reason why they put these three wretched creatures up there, because they knew anybody trying to critique these people, we're going to go past half an hour today. Anybody trying to critique these people, they would automatically use their system, their machine, to start to destroy that person. Because why? Because these three wrenches were the face covers for one of the largest, in my opinion, one of the largest money laundering schemes ever in human history. And when it's all said and done, and they disclose what Act Blue did using Black Lives Matter, that's why they're being investigated right now, because they are investigating Act Blue. So when it comes out that they were funding the Democrat Party, I forgot what this CUNT's name is, but they was funding these people. Pocahontas, they were funding them. This was just another NGO that USAID was propping up and funneling money to.
The Justice Department now investigating whether leaders of the Black Lives Matter movement defrauded people who donated tens of millions of dollars during the 2020 protests.
And of course they're going to lock them up. Of course they're going to lock them up. They got to make an example of these wenches. They used them knowing that they would be expendable. This is the way you murder a movement, pain and suffering. This is how you trivialize killing black people, when you use the very woman that births them to get the job done.
Well, hear the breaking news on Black Lives Matter, because it's pretty wild. Do y'all remember when that organization raised around $90 million back in 2020?
Sure do.
The George Floyd protest. Well, now federal prosecutors are investigating where that money went, and this isn't some social media rumor. This is the Department of Justice. Where $90 million.
Shout out to this young man, because I'm critiquing his content today. And let me see. You're gonna get to. All right, now watch this. Look at this.
Now I will tell you exactly what the BLM founder spent all y'all donation money on. There's all been fact.
Now the young man had to put a bonnet on just to show you how incredibly ridiculous y'all have been.
By the way, firstly, she gave her brother $900K for security services to his nonprofit.
She gave someone $900,000 who's never in their life handled, seen, or got close to making $970,000.
Baby daddy $1 million for
And she gave her baby daddy $1 million because, well, I mean, the DNA is still inside of her.
produce live events and creative services. Then proceed to give another founder $2 million, invested $32 million in stocks, spent a whopping $37 million on grants, real estate, and charter on private flights, according to Doc Tax File. But don't worry, she was kind enough to reimburse the organization $73,000 out of the $37 million that they spent. This explains how y'all got $6 million mansions for no reason. She claimed that they had way too much money to manage and it was all common mistake.
Now think about this. She said it was way too much money to manage. If you think them white liberal devils gave these three ghetto birds $90 million because they thought they were smart, you were stupid. They never got $90 million. They were looked after because this was an inside job. Black men want to love black women, but when are black women going to stay? When are black women going to stand with real black men? When are black women going to learn to be feminine? And in some cases, that means being silent. Because sometimes silence is the strongest thing anyone could be. When a black woman going to say, it's okay to be led by my man? When a black woman going to start fighting against a system that elects black women to destroy black men, black families, black children. With $90 million, the change that could have occurred if they really meant it could have been life-changing. The senses that could have been created, the businesses that could have been opened, the things that could have affected the community to such a degree that the future could be hopeful for our children is a hashtag and a bank account that's delinquent. 3 females who live the life of luxury, while still there are people online dragging George Floyd's name, and he never even asked to be anyone's martyr. In fact, his family asks that the people did not go and destroy the streets. His family asks that the people did not go and commit violence in the name of George Floyd. And this organization used that man's death to raise millions of dollars in order to fake solidarity, in order to fake renewment, to enrich themselves. And you can't make it up. There's no way around this. There's nothing that anyone can say that, oh, he's lying. No, it's true. Go and look. Al Sharpton, federal informant, bought and paid for. Man went from doing, every time he say he go and boycott something, how the man who worked for the government in the news fitting to boycott something? It's never been real. It's all a stage. An intricate play set up. So you and I will continue to argue with each other, well, because black women are unapproachable. And how could I ever say that black women are destroying the black family? Well, Queen, it's coming through you because you're killing the baby in the womb. I'm watching. I have my whole entire life seen women use their children as punishment to men because the men are not financially super rich. He has all the time in the world to go spend time in the parks with his kids, but because he's not clocking in $1 million a year and he's not giving you money and getting your hair done, you don't want him around. No, it's not everybody, but it's just too many. Because it went from 1 out of 50 on food stamps to 1 out of 8. Is that true, Noel? Am I right? And for only 14% of the population receiving about 40 some odd percent, the 30 some odd percent of the stamps, that's ridiculous. That's why no one respects you when you scream Black Power. That's why no one takes you serious when you scream online about racism, about oppression, and then you run around and then you promote Marxist ideas in a fucking Democrat Party. And then I ask you, how as a Marxist are you going to get all these things accomplished? And you come to me and you say the government is going to pay for it. How? If you destroy the government. Well, we create a new one. How do you do that and not get invaded by China, Russia, and everyone else who got all the weapons that you don't got? And in the moment I continue to persist and give you actual questions, because you need to answer it. If you're going to replace something, you have to have it. How? Most of you don't know how to start a fire. Most of you wouldn't know a carburetor from an alternator. Most of you can't even take the tire off your car. Most of you can't read or write past the 6th grade, if you're lucky. You attack people who look like you, who have a difference of opinion, because they're telling you, why the hell are you in some white man's club celebrating on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then on Monday you turn on Instagram and you some fucking revolutionary? How you got black pride and black power when you run into some white man's club to drink some white man's liquor to poison your black body, your black temple, to then run online on Monday and then start to look at me and talk to me like somehow you some fucking savior? How? Where are you getting this opinion from? My Delta 8 comes from the store. I know the guy who grows it. It ain't no white liberal. Same people screaming black pride, black power. Where are all these people? Where are all the black rappers that was screaming Black Lives Matter? Where are all the basketball players who was taking knees screaming Black Lives Matter? Didn't they have Black Lives Matter seats at the NBA game? Had you Negroes jumping through hoops. Whole entire time, white liberal devil just sitting there laughing at you. Because you was show monkey. That's why. That's what you are to them. That's exactly what you are to these people. How can they take you serious when it's so easy to deceive you? When black actual suffering can be monetized and then used against you to make you look absolutely ridiculous as you go outside at the behest of some white liberal so you can go and destroy your own communities instead of demanding with $90 million that they build it.
Department of Justice doesn't just wander into your business of fun money on that black people, but in the end, we should be able to make people. Did that help? It hurt on that organization. If that was the mission, black people, but in the end, we should be able to measure it. You know, like how many black people have died by gunfire in the 4 years since George Floyd died? Well, the number's gone way, way up, and that was a Black Lives Matter operation, defund the police. So I think we can say
they used George Floyd's face and name to enrich themselves because none of them absolutely had any true fight or any true pain to offer you. They were opportunists who were ready to give up everything in order to misuse black people.
actual matter, data-based matter, Black Lives Matter didn't help black people.
It didn't at all. Nobody. Except for the 3 black women and the people close to them that were involved in the largest grift.
I'm over that. That's just another lie. You know, long litany of lies.
And then they say a moral victory. A moral victory of what? Of what?
George Floyd, when I was telling everybody that these Marxist women were going to defraud y'all and take all y'all money, well, it turns out they stole about $90 million from celebrities, from y'all that were deceived and thought that they was just like the Democratic Party. They were the answer to the black people's pain and the answer to black people's suffering. You know what they did? Just like y'all, just like some of our black preachers.
Just like every black leader that is propped up in these urban communities by liberal groups and backdoor organizations.
Just like the Democratic Party, they took y'all vote, just like they took y'all money. They defrauded, they bought houses in different area codes. They didn't even get, none of that money was raised, that none of it even fixed the communities.
So subpoenas were sent, search warrant was served, because when you talk about these numbers, there's a problem. Black Lives Matter reportedly raised about $90 million.
Now, we ain't gonna let it go too long. We got 3 minutes left. So now, with all that said and done, I'm gonna say this. Anybody not trying to get in Donald Trump's office in these last 3 years to work to do something for black people is your enemy if you a black person. Because the only president ever to say, I want to make a deal with you is sitting in the White House right now. For everybody who's saying, what is he doing for black people? What is he doing for black people? What is he doing? Where the fuck is your idea? Stay safe, stay healthy, stay American. And remember, shut your ass up on your $1,000 cell phone talking about racism when the true racism is coming from inside our own community and you're not doing a damn thing about it.
I've been a patient here now for close to a year. I wanted the best care. I wanted consistent care. Sometimes you can go to places and when you do the reviews, you'll see, oh, you know, it's okay. Well, if this person is working, it's bad. But when you check the reviews on the Smile Doctor, it's all positive. As soon as you walk in the door, I was always made to feel like I was a priority. It can give you a great experience. The televisions on the ceilings almost give you a euphoric flying feeling. They find out what music you like. So even the music of choice that you do like, it's playing when you walk in. I had a debilitating tooth issue that was actually going to start eating away at my bone marrow. And Dr. Reed caught it very early on. He removed the bad tooth. The surgery was easy, it was painless. I have 2 brand new teeth, and like I said, they're very attentive. So they're gonna measure your discomfort, they're gonna measure what pain you may have, and they're gonna deal with it. It's just a beautiful and positive environment. The experience here is unlike anything else I've ever went to, and I just encourage anybody out there, if you're watching this, come see the facility, come listen to how quiet it is, come listen to how happy the people are when they're exchanging words to each other. Come experience what it is to actually come and smile with confidence. Come to the Smile Doctor.